Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council. I'm one of your hosts, WebDave, along with my co-host, RHETRI. RHETRI, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I'm the other host. That's me. What's up, guys? Welcome, chat.
Actually, the main
welcome to
host.
Oh, you're right. Oh, come on now. I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. So, see, we already got like almost 30 people in here, so we'll have some people shuffling in here very soon. But and thank you for Colteastwood finally getting here with us. Appreciate you coming through, brother. And Asante is back again. He just can't stay away.
Exactly. Welcome out, Colt. Welcome, sir. How you doing?
Really good. Thank you for having me here. It's good to be here with WebDave again. Can hang out as much as we possibly can, right?
Exactly.
But doing really well. What a great week. What a good time to talk Xbox. Thanks for having me on.
Exactly. Oh, thank you for joining us today. Like I said, we bounce back and forth a few things, and life happens. It's no big deal. But you know, kept and thank God you allowed me to pester you every now and again, and I reached out there, and then it just worked out. So it's like, can you be on this? And you're like, oh, and it's right after the show, so it's like, oh, dude, it's it worked out for us really well because we love having you here, man, and we want to hear your insight and everything, and of course talk about your show and everything and how it's doing, the growth of your channel and stuff too. So good things all the way around. And then of course we have Kay Asante answering the bat call, the bat signal. My man Kay, how you doing, sir?
I was just reading as I do. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I'm happy to be here as usual. It's always great to be invited to be on here and chat games with you gentlemen. And of course the great Colteastwood, always great to be able to podcast with you from time to time. So it's going to be a good night. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. Oh, RHETRI, I will let you kind of get the ball going, how we warm things up a little bit, go around the horn.
Yeah, absolutely. Softball question. Easy. Cole, I'll start with you. What games have you been playing? And any that might be a hot topic tonight. I don't know, because a lot of people are not angry at the games I'm playing lately. But yeah, so what have you been playing? We also like to know if there's any TV shows or movies or anything like that have piqued your interest as of late. So we'll start off with games. Yeah.
Okay. I picked up Elder Scrolls Online, which I gave up when it opened up. Like, I mean, I thought it was awful when it launched, and I wanted nothing to do with it. And after seeing the Avowed additional gameplay, I'm like, I need something like that. So I jumped back in. I was really enjoying it, and then I started playing Palworld this weekend, and it's completely arrested me. And what a goofy, derpy game that I normally wouldn't play, but I found a lot of satisfaction, enjoyment in it. And then I got my son to play with me just before the show, like right up until it was time to be here. And he was like, I don't want to play that. And he's 12. And he's like, and then we caught like a really cool couple of creatures and incubated an egg. And he's like, he's all in. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's a little bit of Palworld and Elder Scrolls Online.
And ESO.
And then,
nice.
So I'm really happy, like, because I'm kind of in this thing where some of the games aren't really, doing it for me. Yeah. And like, here's a couple games that have been really making me smile, which I love when games do that. And so I haven't been watching a lot of TV, but there's this guilty pleasure that I watch with my wife called Virgin River. And it's basically like a soap opera, takes place like up in Canada. And it's really lovey-dovey, and it's got drama and stuff. So nobody knows what that show is, but that's what I've been watching lately.
No clue. Where are you watching that? Was it Netflix?
It's on Netflix. It's really well done. It's one of those really small towns. Like, it's up in the woods, and like there's a town doctor, and this lady comes in, and she's a nurse, and she falls in love with this guy.
I've seen her watch that.
Yeah, I don't know why I just like it.
No, it's good.
There's these like wide shots, like they fly over this mountainous area with this river, and I'm like, oh, it'd be so great to go there, but I couldn't live there because there isn't Taco Bell like right down the road. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
Yeah, not so much for movies right now, but something will come up, I'm sure, eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
Well, both good games right there. So good call outs on that. Kay Asante, what have you been playing, man? And any movies or TV shows that have caught your interest lately?
So I have 2 and 2, but no movies. 2 movies, 2 TV shows, and 2 games. Let's do the TV shows first. Let's see. In the TV shows, I finished up season 2 of Lupin. I don't know if you guys have seen Lupin on Netflix. Basically, it's what is it? Black French Batman. That's literally the show. Black French Batman. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He is black, he is French, and he is Batman. He's saving the day. He's, faking his death. He's, got a lot of costumes and disguises. It's lots of fun. If you haven't seen it, season 1's awesome too. Season 2 is also actually season 3 they're on now. Very, very good show. Very charismatic lead. It's a French show that's even the subtitles and or dub is great. So, I recommend that. So there's that. And then show number 2, The Brother's Son. Have you guys heard of The Brother's Son?
Is that the new Netflix one?
Yes. So I am an unabashed Michelle Yeoh stan. Wherever she goes, I shall follow. She plays the mother of of 2 brothers. One who is a geeky California dude. Well, not California. Where are they? I think they're in New York or something.
Vegas or something weird.
Yeah, someplace normal, like a normal nerdy kid, and his brother happens to be the assassin, the top assassin of the biggest triad in the world, and hilarity ensues. It's really, really good. I mean, really good. My wife is not a action kind of heavy drama kind of TV show person. We watched one episode. She literally bullied me into watching the entire thing. We binged the whole thing.
Oh no.
It is very good. Like very, very good. It's drama in addition to, cutting up bodies and brutality, and it's just crazy. It's just and it's funny at the same time. Yeah, I gotta watch it. So those are the 2 of those. Now the games, since we are in between the monsters, right? And I'm still like, I think I'm on like new game plus 3 times on Starfield at this point. I have many days in that game. And when you have many games in a big game, you tend to want a palate cleanser. And I have 2 palate cleansers that have literally taken my life these days. One I've talked about many times. I actually had the cheap plug. I had the developer of the game on my show last week, Cookie Cutter. Very Metroidvania, lots of style, crazy, weird style, a robot chick. It's basically your standard Mario story, go save the princess, but there's just so much to it, and there's just so much going on, and systems and everything else. It's absolutely amazing. People have to try it. I feel like games like this are getting lost in the shuffle a little bit because of the big games that are out there. Oh, and absolutely. On that note, another one that caught my attention that's also a very small game, and this is also like amazing to me, called The Cub. I don't know if you guys have heard The Cub.
I did not know that one.
That's also very new. It is like, so the best way I can describe The Cub is like, it's your stereotypical idea of the Earth has gone through some apocalyptic future, right? All the people who could leave have left. They left to Mars, right? They have turned into Martians. They live on Mars, right? When they left, obviously you can imagine how crazy it would be if you're leaving Earth. Those who could leave left. Those who couldn't leave were left behind, right? Whatever was going on in the apocalyptic Earth, mutated animals, mutated the Earth, and those who couldn't survive died, right? And when this game starts, you are one of the few, a cub, who survived this. And those who survived have mutated in order to survive so they can breathe the Earth's atmosphere, right? Okay. And while you're roaming around the Earth with weird things, this is like every place in the world is Australia. They're just trying to kill you. Right? You know what I mean? Every bug is ready to kill you, right? But you're traversing the world, parkouring the world, very platform heavy. And then all of a sudden you see planes coming down, and these are Martians, but these were the Earthlings of yesteryear that are now Martians now, but they can't breathe the air anymore because they're no longer susceptible to the air. So you are the cub. So one of them dies. This is like literally the first 2 seconds, and you put on one of his helmet. You put on his helmet. So you're traversing this world by listening to like, oh, welcome to the radio music of the last day on Earth, and like the whole soundtrack is like GTA awesome while you're traversing this world. Now, I won't tell you all the craziness, but what I will tell you is I've noticed something, and we'll see how this goes. But the game is also paying homage to all different kinds of genres. So you start as a platformer, literally Mario. At some part in the game, I remember the Donkey Kong like train level recreated in it. There are shmup levels where you're like, there are bullet hell parts of the level, but they all fit seamlessly into this story. While you're talking, while you're playing the game. It's not like, hey, here's this other one, or here's this. It is just so seamlessly woven in. It is amazing. Like one of the most amazing out of nowhere experiences that like I've experienced so far. Whenever I'm not like, you know, doing something I need to, I'm on this thing and I'm playing. And I'm playing it on Steam right now, but I know it's on PlayStation. I saw there's a PlayStation thing on there. It might be on Xbox as well. Okay. It's called the Cub. The Cub. It is excellent. Like excellent. I'm literally trying to make Everborn play it because this is homework. He will change his entire situation once he plays this game because he's building a game similarly in that kind of vein. So yes, it's awesome. People should try that.
Very cool, man. I never even heard of this one, so I think you kind of sold me on it. What do you remember what you paid for that? Like
on Steam, it was on Steam. It's on sale right now for $10. Like $10. Yes, it's usually $15. I mean, this game would be like a steal for 30, but they're selling it for 15, and now it's on sale for 10. So there you go. People should play it. It's nice. Really cool. Art style is amazing. It is literally the best way I can describe it is it is. Let's see. The best way is Inside meets Ori with a GTA soundtrack.
Oh man.
So there you go.
Jeez.
Damn, that's a recommendation. You just basically named two of my favorite indies of all time back to back.
So there you go. It's amazing. People should play it. Yeah.
Nice
call out. WebDave, what have you been playing? I know we talked in the green room. I actually know what you're playing, but let everyone else know what you're playing, man.
I will. First, before I jump on, I do want to say welcome out to over 120 people in the chat. Welcome, one and all, including such rarities as Special Nick has joined us.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if he's going to jump on and give us some more info. I'm just kidding. But Nick, welcome. And Nick, I need to reach out to you, man. Sometime I'd love to interview you. Just throwing that out there.
There you go.
Just saying. But anyway, but yeah, so I have been playing Palworld. I've been playing the hell out of it. I woke up this morning at 8 and played till 4. So like an hour before the show. So I had to go, I had to get a shower.
That explains why when I was texting him, he wasn't answering me back.
I wasn't answering you right away. Not at all. You're right. So yeah, I had to do that. And TV shows, not really anything of note. The movies, I've rewatched a couple of movies. My wife has a bunch of friends over, so they had this weekend. They've had a Twilight marathon.
Oh, really?
So we watched every single Twilight. I should call shaking his head. Watched every single Twilight movie again with them.
I'm sorry.
Because that's what a great husband does.
You're a good guy.
Yeah, while having
better man than me,
playing Palworld in my lap with my anyway, Steam Deck. But yeah, so and I enjoyed Palworld so much that I actually actually bought it on Steam because it was like $3 off on sale. I went and bought it that way too. So
sure,
I got it covered. My son, he likes playing more on PC than he does on Game Pass. A lot of his friends will play there, and he's been burning it up too. So we'll probably end up playing that tomorrow night. So pretty excited for that. Before we do get to your information there, let's we got a super chat, and then we have a new channel member. Let's knock that out real quick.
Wow, Adidas 20 with the $10 says, "What's up out with the lady? I will catch the replay later. Have a great show. Salute." Thank you, Adidas. One of the good guys right there. I love you, man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
And this guy, Jim Ryan's first party GoFundMe account just became a member, or re-upped, I might say, for 4 months. So appreciate you, man. I know who you are.
Jim on his way out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So for me, I was playing Valhalla, and then Palworld came out, and then I tried it, and I kind of fell in love with Palworld, man. I don't know. It's almost hard to quantify why I like this game so much. It's just a mix of a bunch of different types of games together. And I enjoy the whole... Confession, I've never played a Pokemon game in my entire life, ever. So this is basically my first foray into this genre. But it feels more like it's definitely more survival from what I've been told, than an actual Pokemon game that everyone seems to be saying. This is not Pokemon. Everyone says this is better. And I haven't played any Pokemon games, but I am loving this game, dude. I cannot, it's not because I'm a Game Pass guy. If I don't like a game, I move on. I didn't like Baldur's Gate 3. I moved on. now, to each their own. This game, I don't know, dude, it's just hitting different for me. I really, even though it's crashing, like you, Dave, we talked about that. You've had some crashes as well. There's definitely some issues going on the Series X. I haven't played it on PC yet, but it seems like we're running 2 different versions here than Steam is. The Steam guys seems like they have kind of the superior version going on. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I haven't really watched anything. I watched some Below Deck, I guess, the other day. That's me and my wife's guilty pleasure. I just like looking at watching rich people on yachts and just doing stuff I can never afford. So yeah, that's what I was doing. But yeah, so I guess we can move on to our first subject is Palworld. I want to start kind of, I'm seeing the internet kind of lose its mind right now over this. I think we kind of know why, but it is in Game Pass. The other side might not like the fact that it's in Game Pass. You know who the other side is. I think Palworld has now sold over 4 million. I think the last time I checked, I don't know, who knows? It could be up to 5 now. I have no clue. But the last time I looked, it was 4+ million sold, which is super, super impressive. The game is only $30. It's $27, like Dave said, and a little discount on Steam. So I feel like I'm seeing a lot of people say that they're going to end up buying this game. I think I'm going to be one of those people. I'm usually very, very cheap. I'm like, if it's in Game Pass, I'm not buying it. I think I'm going to buy this one. I really do. But the success of Palworld, I'll start with you, Colt. Do you think that Game Pass had anything to do with the success of this game, or is it just Steam being Steam and it's just successful on its own because it's an addictive, great game? Or what's your 2 cents on that?
Everything that Pocket Pair is talking about is Steam. They're looking at Steam metrics because they probably don't have the telemetry for Game Pass or Xbox console yet. But it does kind of destroy a narrative that you say on the other side that says that Game Pass cannibalizes sales when it's doing record-breaking numbers. Like it's nearly beating PUBG on Steam for all-time game release on Steam. But on Game Pass, I mean, we don't know yet. I'm sure that's doing pretty well on Xbox, but it's in-game preview, which is a product of it's exclusive to Xbox because PlayStation does not allow a game preview program on their console, which they need to do that like yesterday. That's something that they need to bring to their customers.
Yeah.
So by the very nature of it being exclusive, just kind of like Baldur's Gate was in a ridiculous roundabout way, but having it on Game Pass is really good. I don't know if you can probably still buy it on console. I haven't even looked. Everyone was talking about it. I remember seeing it at the Game Awards in December, and we all made the jokes. And I don't normally play games like that, but to see a game wrap around people's fingers like this and get them to jump in and spend the whole weekend playing the game, boost it in sales just over word of mouth, and it's sheer like the power of people being excited and seeing that number going up and all that FOMO. I feel so happy for this studio. They're seeing amazing success, lightning in a bottle, which there's another thing I'd like to say. Sometimes I think it's okay to copy this and that from other games occasionally, which will also go into a discussion we'll talk about later when we talk about Developer Direct. There's kind of a push and pull there. Here, it's like my son plays it. He's like, why are they copying Zelda and Pokemon? I'm like, it's fun.
It's genius.
It's genius.
Because it works. Yeah.
Yep.
It definitely got some Zelda vibes there for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious to see if this is going to, I mean, it's such a hit on Steam. I'm curious to see if it just keeps building and building and building and becomes a juggernaut for Game Pass as well, and actually helps Xbox maybe get more subscribers or, sell more console units or just get more into the Xbox ecosystem through Game Pass, whether it's on PC, console, or cloud, whatever. But Kay, what's your whole take on this whole Palworld taking off extravaganza? It almost kind of feels like like FOMO of like Elden Ring FOMO back in the day. I don't know if it's going to sell Elden Ring numbers, but I mean, man, the trajectory right now is kind of crazy.
It is amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. Out of nowhere, it's kind of taken over, right? So I will say, first and foremost, I think it's super impressive. You know, I think it's awesome that not necessarily the ones that you assumed were going to be a hit are a hit, right? Something that comes out of left field and really surprises folks. That's always commendable, and I'm sure the studio right now and the developers are like, you know, high-fiving and the idea of, oh, this is going into game preview. Now they're going to put a lot of action to it to potentially like clean it up, because I hear it's still got a bunch of rough edges and all of that.
Oh yeah.
I will say this is not my genre. I will say that Pokemon kind of came out right at the
Before
edge
your
of
time?
well, after my time, I guess, is my point,
right.
right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know, and unlike other graybeards, I have not gotten into Fortnite that much as others have. And this, when I see this is like Pokemon meets Fortnite, right? And I see that, and people are loving it. I'm just like, this is so great that others are loving it, but I can sit there and go, get off my lawn. I can be Eastwood on this one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a little Eastwood on this one. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I will not deny that, you know, well, you know why? I'll tell you why, right? And it's weird for me. I understand that it's marketed to a different kind of genre. I understand that it's marketed to a different kind of person. But when I see this reminds me of, like, I don't know, cigarettes being marketed to kids or something.
Oh no!
Like this cute little thing with guns, and they're gonna cook them and eat them, and there's all this. You know, you can kidnap. You can cut people's body parts off in the game. I'm just like, what are we doing?
I have not gotten that far yet, but damn, okay.
Yes, there's some craziness. There's craziness in that game. So needless to say, you know, I'm enjoying that others are liking it, but I'm just like, I'm gonna just keep a side eye until we'll see what the final form of this game is. I'm sure in like a year it'll be like a huge, you know, competitor, as people are enjoying it now. I'll wait to see what it looks like, but maybe I'll jump into it at some point. For now, I'm just kind of be like, enjoy, y'all.
Have fun. Well, I like games like that. This is why I love Game Pass, because I think it introduces genres as a whole to people that never would have touched them. You know, like top-down shooters or strategy games and stuff like that. I was never a strategy game guy until I played Age 4, and I loved it. And now I look at other games like Aura, like we're going to talk about Aura tonight, and it makes me look at other stuff I normally in the past would have just skipped. You know what I mean? I think this could be one of those games for a lot of people, just like Elden Ring was a lot of people's first Souls-like game. And a lot of people that don't typically even like Souls games really enjoyed Elden Ring. So yeah, it's interesting to see where this is going to go. Obviously they're having server issues because I guess they didn't expect this many people to be hopping on these servers all at the same time.
So about that server talk, real quick.
Go ahead, Kay.
There is conversation that the Steam version has up to 300 plus people can play because they have dedicated servers, 300 and whatever. And on Xbox, they don't have set dedicated servers, so it's only co-op like a few people, and they're having discrepancies
like
there, right?
I think
up
it's
to 4.
Sure? I think it's 32, right? It's not. Is it 300? I heard.
They were doing like they were doing ridiculous numbers. Like I thought it was ridiculous high numbers. Yeah. I could please don't quote me on the numbers, but I'm not exactly sure. I thought it was because I read that this afternoon. Yes, sloth me. Yes, I read that this afternoon. I'm just like, why is that? Which is very odd, you know. I guess for whatever reason, since they ported 2 different versions, the Xbox version isn't up to speed.
Is it 32 on Steam?
Okay,
but they also said that Windows Central did a great article about the difference.
Yeah, I saw that.
Pocket Pair is actually waiting for the longer certification and approval process that Xbox has, and Xbox is notoriously long in certification. That's why their patches often come a week later. They take that much longer than PlayStation or Steam.
They took those cyberpunk lessons to heart. I understand. Yes.
And I don't know if Xbox needs to do something to speed up their certification process or what it entails, but they're basically on a 1.2 version on Steam, and Xbox is at a 1.0. So that could be 2 versions away, but they said that the Pocket Pairs devs said it's not really that much different. They're just 2 updates ahead for probably stability and some other things. And I don't know why you can have 32 people play in your world. I don't know how you'd manage that, but right now I've just got 2 and I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah, it's 4 right now on Xbox.
Playing solo, and I got whatever. I'm calling it Pokemon. I got Pokemon fucking dying left and right. I don't know how the hell this many people could play together. It would be absolute chaos, I would imagine. But I'm gonna have to watch some videos.
It's typical for consoles to have a pared back version when it comes to something like that. You know, even the CPU on the Series X will dive in the what feels like 30 frames sometimes. It's actually pretty stable. It runs at 60 from what I can feel from all my years of experience, where it runs at 60, and then when it's having problems, it kind of sits in the 30 area. It doesn't like have large spikes. It doesn't really stall out, but my son was experiencing really bad lag through the servers, which are probably being absolutely destroyed by all the people joining. So if you're being hosted, you'll have kind of an inconsistent, but whatever. It's Palworld. Hey, it's so fun. We're enjoying it. It's great.
Yeah, it kind of feels like there's definitely some jank there. It definitely needs some updates on the Series X and probably PC version. Through Xbox as well. But there's something there. Like it's definitely it's early access, so you gotta kind of give them a little bit break on that. So I know a lot of people just they don't care. They don't care if it's early access. They'll come at you no matter what. But I think more people just got to realize that it is an early access game, and it's going to have a lot of updates. They have to now. It's successful. They can't ignore it. So we'll see what happens. I have no clue how large that the Pocket Pair team is. So I'd imagine right now, you're looking that up, Colt. I imagine they're probably looking for more people as we speak. Like help, SOS. Because 1 million, as Keezy says, 1 million concurrent it's just crazy. It's crazy.
Imagine I don't see the answer here.
Team.
I don't see the answer at a glance, but I can imagine they're probably pretty small. Just imagine that, guys. You build this game. You're a studio no one's ever heard of or said out loud before. They put out this game, and you are not only successful, you are kicking the rear end of most records. Like, they have got to be doing backflips at I mean, they're like, we're the most popular game in the world, and then Tom Worm's like, well, actually, PUBG. And I'm like, I love Tom Worm so much, I almost want to say, Tom, just let him have this moment.
Let him have the moment. I mean,
Tom, in relative space, I know PUBG studio Bluehole, they weren't really big either. But like right now, these people are literally like high-fiving each other. They're having what a moment. And Tom's not he's not ruining that for them.
Right.
But it's amazing. Like, I'm just so happy for them. It's so cool to see things like this. And it's such a perfect time thing, right, guys? Where we're seeing AAA games like Spider-Man 2 was so successful, but it was so expensive. Where Insomniac's like, gosh, it's like, man, if we could just get more people, we could be experiencing this great profit margin that's just over the moon. And Palworld, I mean, you can imagine they probably spent pennies on the dollar to build this game compared to a AAA studio.
Right.
And they are just seeing so much excitement and electricity. And then people are downplaying. It's like, oh, it's not really exclusive. And, oh, you can't give this one to the wind, to the whoever. And, oh, who cares if it's on Xbox? It's like, I don't know. If you don't like the game, you don't like it. But like, this is just celebrate the moment with this studio, because they have struck literal gold this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. 1000% agree on that. The cool thing is that I think the concurrent players alone, or at least to date, how many copies have sold? Yeah, somebody was saying it was bigger than what Spider-Man 2 sold to date.
Like in the same period or to date?
No, to date.
It probably is. Well, I mean, we had a number of, I think they sold 3.5 million in the first weekend, including pre-orders for Spider-Man 2. And then, as we're hearing, in the 24 or 40 hours, Palworld is at 4 million. Yeah. So, like, if we could see that graph, it's probably a very stark difference. Kay, do you think it's going to be okay over here on the consoles?
Oh, I think it'll be all right. I think they'll be all right. Give them some time. I think they'll be. I'm like suck. I'm reading all up on Pocket Pair right now, and all the ins and outs of that. It's a small team, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a game called Craftopia.
Yeah,
Craftopia was the game they made before Palworld. Only 2 games they've made, and they publish their own games. It's seemingly a very small team, like very independent.
This is their second game.
This is their second game.
That I
this
did
is
not
amazing.
know. Ooh.
Wait,
I'm digging through it.
Craftopia?
Yeah, Craftopia. That was the first game.
I didn't
So how
realize
big do you think
Craftopia
they
was
are,
the
Kay?
first.
Oh, I'm trying to find their numbers. I'm
I'm gonna guess,
it has
but
to
I'm
be
thinking
less than
40 or
30,
less.
40. Yeah, less than 40 people.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So I'm digging through it. It's super interesting, And the reason why I'm laughing is because they say that Pokemon was no influence at all.
I mean, oh my god! Come on,
I don't even call them Pal Scares. I call them Pokeballs, and I don't even play Pokemon.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Somebody did. It was kind of funny earlier. I may have it. I'll try and see if I can find it in a minute. But they were like, all the people that were like, it's rip off of all this stuff, and it's like, really? And they had like, here's the artwork for Pokemon, and then here's the 7 years before Pokemon came out artwork for Dragon Quest, and it was like, amazingly every type of character is like looks amazingly similar. It's like, so you just, it is what it is, man. You just can't, it's not
That's
exactly
probably why
like
they're
it.
not going to sue anybody, because they'll probably get sued too.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep going back. Yeah, I think this is great for Xbox. I think Xbox has been kind of looking for that lightning in a bottle game, something like a Fall Guy, something that kind of no one saw coming that hits and just kind of takes off. And this is one of those things that probably cost Xbox near to nothing to get onto Game Pass.
One last bit of nugget of information as we're talking this. They during their early development, they saw that this game was going to be really popular, so the budget of the game exceeded, quote, 1 billion yen, and that caused them to hire an additional 40 employees in addition to the core team of 10. So about 50 people made this game.
Wow.
So they scaled up basically.
So there you go. Yeah. So
That's
there you
cool.
go. Super interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, man. I'm excited to play it. It's a lot of fun. It's, Retro, you say you've never played Pokemon.
Nope. Never.
If you play Pokemon now, you'll be like, oh, why can't I shoot people? Why can't I do, there's so many things in this game that you'd be missing. So you're fine not playing Pokemon. And I like Pokemon.
That's kind of what everyone's been telling me.
It's really cool. It's really, really cool. We got a couple of super chats. We'll jump on there real quick.
Sure, let's do it. Sith Lord with the $2 super chat says, my man Colt back to back and K 3 times in a row. There you go.
Love it. Love it.
What's up, Sith? Enigmatic Dreams with the $2 says, continuing my one-man crusade, bring back Parasite Eve. He's still waving that flag. Good for you, Enigmatic. I love that. Appreciate that. Dan Lazaro with the $5 says, tried playing via cloud and the servers were too busy. I'm shocked. 15-minute wait. Yeah, the queue times are not good on cloud right now at all. Outside of this game too. Says a lot of people trying it out at the very least. Yeah, I think.
Oops, sorry.
It would be a good game to try on the cloud if they weren't getting inundated with just so many damn people. But those queue times, I don't know, man. I don't know if more people are playing the cloud or if they literally just took Series X servers out of the server farms or whatever. But I used to never get queue times. Anytime I touch cloud now, I always get quew time. So something is definitely something has changed. I'm just not sure what it is. You think they pulled some?
Yeah, I think they did.
That's what I think too.
Or they're not spooling up as many to save on whatever money they're not making there in the cloud.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, yank some of those out of there
more.
and build Series X's out of them,
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And I will take these.
Mhm.
Get them underneath their chin.
There you go. Doing a little juggling. Oh my goodness. Welcome out to the over 192 people that are here in the chat. Welcome one and all. We really appreciate you being here tonight.
And hit the like. If you guys are having a good time with the show, show WebDave and RHETRI some love here and give them some like. I mean, we should have a lot more than that. We should have 7 million likes. No, I'm just kidding. But
4+ million, like Palworld. Let's go.
Oh goodness, exactly. If everybody on Palworld come in and liked our show, I'm just kidding.
you can listen while you play.
Call to arms.
Yeah, there you go.
True.
Exactly. We had somebody mentioned that they were doing that earlier.
I mean, I'm playing while we're on the show. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Jazz, put the controller down. What?
Yeah.
He does that a lot. I love it.
There'd be no way to play that and be on a show. You'd be like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Dang it! I threw a spell sphere on accident. I always hit the bumper. Just throw one in the grass.
Right.
Anyway, no. Sailor Mercury says, I'm playing while listening.
That's the way. That is the way.
And Colt, you should have access to. You should be a mod now if you want to.
No, I am. I already blocked like 70 people. No, there's going to be a lot of people that won't like this game or not interested, but people are still having a good time talking about it. So, it's
absolutely.
a little dicey on Twitter.
Twitter is having a field day right now. And I'm here for it. It's fine. It is. I'm a Game Pass guy, so I'm kind of like, like I'm enjoying it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. Look, they got games on the blue side. We got games on the green side. We just have more of them.
Arthur 1 says when you guys getting custom emojis, if you sign up for our membership, it's literally the lowest setting is $1, and with that you get all those emojis that I just dumped. We have like 13 or 14 emojis right now that are custom emojis that you can check out and spice up your conversation with. So please join us if you want to, or if you don't, that's fine too. We just appreciate you being here, and if like and subscribe is definitely helpful to the channel to continue to grow. So we'll definitely ask that. Now we're 205 people in chat. This is awesome. Keep it going, people. Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Palworld, we can move on to the main subject. We got to talk about the Xbox Developer Direct. So we saw Avowed, my favorite. History Untold. Saw Hellblade 2, Indiana Jones, and the special game that no one predicted, and if you did, good for you, because I definitely got this one wrong. Visions of Mana from Square Enix. Square Enix showing up to the show. Did anyone have this on their bingo card? I want to know if anyone was like, Square's going to be there. Because good for you if you did.
Miles did.
Who did?
Miles Dompierre every time.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's got to be right eventually if he keeps saying the same thing.
It's just like throwing it out there over and over and over. Like just casting the line out.
Yeah.
I talked to somebody who knew ahead of time, and I was like, come on. But
did you not believe him? Was that one of the rumors you were like, I don't believe you?
I was in a party with someone, just one person, during the Developer Direct, and they said Square's supposed to be there. And I'm like, for what? He goes, I don't know, but it's not for Final Fantasy. And I'm like, why would Square be there? And then I just kind of dismissed it, and then we enjoyed the show, and yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot. I honestly forgot about Visions of Mana, even though I think it looks like a pretty damn good game. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing. But I guess we'll just kind of go through like everyone's like general feelings about the show itself. I'll start with you, Colt. Where do you sit on the Xbox Developer Direct that we just saw, maybe compared to last year? Do you like in this format? Do you think they did well keeping it the same?
The format's fantastic. It's so cool. It's like I think the team that they hired has worked with Bethesda before. Is what we're figuring. They're great shots, great camera and lighting and mic work. So you just feel like you're right there. Like you get to walk in the front door right inside the studio and listen to what they have to say about their game. And it's really gameplay heavy on these interviews, which is nice. Last year's was more exciting, but then there was a couple of games that just didn't end up being as exciting as they were showing in the Developer Direct, like Redfall and Forza Motorsport. But this one, like, I don't care about History Untold, but it looks neat. And I don't care about Visions of Mana, but I think the show is really super enjoyable. Like the stuff was a little boring, but the developers are really fun to listen to. So I really enjoyed it. And Avowed, which I thought, okay, I'm going to play Avowed. I like Obsidian. I hope it's as good as it's supposed to be. And I know people have problems with how the combat looks janky, but I was really happy when I saw Avowed on Thursday. Like I just was like really kind of honed in on the creatures and the oh my gosh, I can't think of words right now. I feel like I haven't podcasted or been on a video long enough to even get back together. But the variety of combat that you have available to you.
Yes.
Axe, sword, shield, flintlock, dual wield, wands, hand spells. I'm probably leaving out 19 things. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it looks like you can use like maybe the D-pad to say, I'm going to assign up on the D-pad for bow and arrow. I'm going to assign right to the flintlock. Left will be my melee and bottom will be my magic. Like if you can do that and you just kind of creatively just dispatch all these enemies. Anyway, Avowed looks really cool. There's a lot.
There is a lot to talk about, but I'm glad you brought that up because that out of Avowed, that was my number one takeaway from all. It was the switching on the fly. They called it the flexible combat system, where you could go from dual wielding magic to dual wielding pistols to having a sword and a shield. That I don't need the realism. I don't need you're carrying too many things. I don't need that. It's a video game. Give me all my weapons, all my choices. I want to be able to switch on the fly. That made me so happy. I was like, yes. One thing I really liked about.
I want to dive all the way into. I don't want to talk about all the games right off. I suppose I just started on Avowed, but overall, yes, I enjoyed the show, and I guess we could talk about Avowed because I think it'd be nice for us all to kind of talk about each of the games and how they had the impact on us.
Let's go for it. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That was my plan anyways, Colt, so you're good.
Yeah. Like we're going to get into Indiana Jones, so I'll let us kind of like cover the field, but
sounds good.
I'm so glad that Avowed looks really satisfying to me, so I'm excited about it.
Sure.
Well, that cover art too looks really good too.
Yeah, the cut. Oh man, that cover. Ooh,
I already have it tattooed on my back, like the whole way down.
That is someone's gonna do that. That is a really.
Charlie's going to from the Xbox comms team. She said she's going to get a tattoo of that. From Xbox UK.
She would be the type of person that would do that too. I could totally see her doing that. So.
She said, "Give me one like on this tweet, and I'm getting this inked." And she had
wanted it so bad.
She had like 700 likes in a minute. So
right. Okay, what were your overarching thoughts of like the format and everything that Xbox is doing, and even maybe compared to last year's Direct? How'd you feel about this one?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. We have always wanted them to get that format down, and I think they finally did that. They had to poach some IGN folks to be able to solidify that for them. But she's kicking butt. Tina's out there doing big things, and it looks great. The format is solid. As Colt said, it's not as exciting as last year's because last year's was just unique. This is the second bite of a great cake, so it just loses a little bit of it, but still it's great. For me, I'd say overarching, I really appreciated what they had to show. I like that they're basically they're telling a story. They're basically telling you that diversity is the name of the game. Every single game is completely different than the game before it. I'm not a huge strategy person, but I really want to give Ara a shot because, it looks like the people that are involved, and that's actually a thing that I like about this format. It shows the passion on the screen by the people that are making the thing, right? So even if you don't really care about it, if you're like, this is not my style of thing, their passion is infectious and you'll just want to try it. I left that thing going, you know what? I will try Ara out. I'm a big history buff. I saw the Zulus on screen. I'm like, yes, I will try that thing. You know what I'm saying? I may not have tried it beforehand, but I thought that was super interesting. We'll obviously talk about Indiana Jones and Hellblade and all that. I too am really excited about Avowed. I think Avowed showed really well. I really liked what they had to show there. I like the fact that would have been thought of as a competitor to Skyrim, but it's bringing something different. That's not just like they did with their competitor to Fallout, right? They brought something different to the mix, and this seems like it's also bringing something different to the mix, which I appreciate. I thought it was really good. Now, the Square Enix of it all. I too was delivered the information previously before it was dropped. So unfortunately, that was known, it was also a head scratcher. Like, what could they show there, right? I think it was more a play for, hey, look at us. We have this this publisher with us, right? And in that realm, it was a big deal. The game they showed was not my kind of game, right? I'm always open. I just talked about 2 awesome indies that I love, so I'm always open to try something different. So I will give it a shot. But I wished, like, had they had something substantive from Square, something that everyone would agree is substantive, that would have been like a monster drop, you know? Like, they have not only Square, but then they also bring something that everybody has been anticipating for a long time. That would have been amazing. They didn't do that. So, okay. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was a pretty solid show. I like the fact that this is what we're looking forward to. I like the fact, unpopular opinion, I like the fact they didn't do a shadow drop. Because God forbid you set unrealistic expectations, then you're going to be stuck with that for the rest of your damn life. Let's not do that, right? Let's let it be fresh and new every time. So I think they did a good job. I really did.
Yeah, very good points there. Dave, what do you think about the direct over encompassing? I guess
it was okay.
It was I
hate
it. Yeah, you know, I mean, it wasn't a showcase, but no, it was all right. I'm being a smart ass. It was fantastic, man. I really did enjoy it a lot. I thought it was very well done. The pacing, you know, if last year's it was more exciting because we didn't know what to expect. This year's had the pacing like just down pat. I mean, it was nice and tight, even though it still felt loose because it was the developers talking about it, but I felt that it was still, you know, just right on point. And the 2 big things of humor, you know, were the one guy he's interviewed and they left it in, and the other developer comes and gets a drink.
Just walks in.
Exactly, and that was Dan, one of them. That's great.
Yeah.
You know,
thanks, Dan.
Exactly. And then Todd Howard at the very end, stealing the statue, was priceless. You know, so well done. Just little things like that were just, you know, and go. I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about Avowed, but it was really well done, really good. I'm glad they showed as much as they did. They gave you the breakdown. They talked about how your different choices, you know, will have different outcomes and carry through the game. So it's not like it's you know, it's not a cookie cutter type thing. Your decisions will have consequences, and they've, you know, I guess I didn't see to me, it wasn't a big problem that they had a lot of color in the second trailer release. I guess the palette was more colorful.
Oh yeah.
Because to me, it was still going to be early. I think that they necessarily toned it down, but they, you know, brought the balance a little bit more, you know, because there's some people like, you know, they really wanted to be gritty and dark. And I have a feeling there's probably going to be some gritty moments in the game.
I think
maybe some dungeons.
It can be colorful and still be gritty though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But it's not like, you know,
it's not a scary game. It's certainly not.
Right.
There was the thing going around. The trailer was actually rated E. The trailer was rated E for everyone, but the game is still M for mature.
Right.
But yeah, it's not that really super
Fair
creepy
enough.
Demon Souls style type game.
I mean, it's not supposed to be like something like Demon Souls or Fallout. I mean, it's not really Obsidian either. Like it's weird to me. People who are having an issue with the color, I'm just like, do you know this studio or the graphics for that? Not having photorealistic graphics. I'm like, again, do you know Obsidian? Because this wouldn't surprise you at all. This is very much an Obsidian looking game to me. It's very much looks kind of like more colorful Outer Worlds, you know, or Grounded. Look at what they did with Grounded. It's not muted colors. It's not Fallout-esque. It's not all blacks and dipped 50 shades of gray. And I'm no knock on Fallout, but I think it's good to have variety. We got plenty of RPGs out there that are dark. You know what I mean? So I'm actually a fan of the direction that they went with. So, and I'm sure when it comes out, people will probably shut up about that and move on. But
I would hope so.
No, they won't.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, Co. I got way too much faith. Yeah, no, you're right. Internet, you suck. Yeah, I guess we can go down the line and just talk about like everyone's feelings. We'll go with one game. We'll just go around the horn of what you guys kind of thought and kind of reiterate. We'll start. We'll go right in a row of how everything was shown. We'll start with Avowed with you, Colt. Anything you want to add to what you've already said on Avowed, or?
No, I mean, we covered it pretty well. It's there. I'm a big fan of Grounded. Well, probably the biggest fan of Grounded. And if it has some of that tiered gear and smithing, that is, people who don't know Grounded don't understand this, but it has a really good system for upgrading your gear and how you get it. So if it has a little bit of that, I think it's going to be really super satisfying. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It was kind of weird that Avowed had mostly that blue number who's on the Infinite podcast was talking about how
she's in here. Yeah,
she's still here in the chat. How it sort of seemed like a tech demo, like some of the combat, and they clearly did have enemies standing there and like striking down so they could show you how you block. So I think they did that on purpose. They didn't bring you into it. That actually wasn't like a mission area where you were actually out of a game. I think they spawned enemies and they showed you how you could dispatch them or take them on defensively. So it looks kind of weird that you've got these like lizard, bipedal lizards that are fighting you, but we haven't seen like how they actually come out of the caves and attack you and stuff like that. So I don't know how that's going to look, but I'm super excited. I think it's going to be way more fleshed out than we felt with Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds really good, but when you compare it to something like that Obsidian did, it's like there's a lot of mechanics you didn't even bring into Outer Worlds that I was hoping to see in that game. So hopefully they've like really stretched their legs on Avowed.
Yeah, I think the strength of Outer Worlds was probably the story over mechanics on that particular game too. But Kay, you want to add anything to your points on Avowed before we move on to the next one? Or?
The only parts of Avowed that I would say so I think his name is Dell in Gears 5. The character Dell, the person who did the voice of Dell, is the same voice that we saw in Avowed. And I'm good at voices, so I could tell right away.
Really?
You know the dude who had the Miles Morales haircut? Yeah, that's Dell's voice.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
okay.
Cool.
Yes,
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And as soon as I saw it, I Googled it. I'm like, yep, that's his voice. So it's the same gentleman doing the voice there, and it's cool. What I did notice though, which obviously, as you guys are saying, some people saying it's a tech demo or whatever, they're in the middle of building the game, and you can definitely tell they're doing that because while the gentleman was giving a great performance, the facial animation was a little stunted. They had some eyebrow raises, they had a little bit of, but it wasn't as emotive as the words coming out of the gentleman's mouth. So you can definitely tell that there's still some work to be done there. But as you guys have said, they were just using it to show off what was available. I'm sure that at the end of it, it will look good. They have great actors. They have, it looks like a full fleshed out story, and it may be, worthy of that Skyrim competitive comparison. So I'm excited about it. I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave, what's your 2 cents on Avowed, man?
Just we talked about earlier. It looks amazing. It looks really good. Can't wait to get into it, and we know it's coming out this year. So that's it. I'm ready for the next game. Whenever you go ahead, but drop for your points.
Yeah. I know some people were disappointed that we only got Hellblade's date too, but
I was.
Were you one of the ones that were disappointed?
I mean,
I get that. Go for it.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think Avowed and Indiana Jones should have had a date, but I think maybe Xbox has adopted this internal rule where we're not giving out the release date unless our event is 4 months from release. Because I think what we've noticed over the past 3 years, well, really over the past decade, but especially the past couple of years with every game being delayed,
right,
is that they may have realized that when you get in that 3-month zone, when you think the game's done, you're usually at the point of no return and everything's going to release. But anything before that, there's just too many variables, and Xbox doesn't want to put down a release date and have to scratch it and make a big announcement, because right now, especially as understanding as the gaming fans are around the world, they are not very understanding when a game gets delayed.
No.
Yeah, that was tongue in cheek, of course, but
right.
I mean, we all try to be, but you know, even
it's hard.
like to ourselves, we're like, gosh, come on, like put the game out already. What's going on? But we may not say that outwardly, but
sure,
I think that must be their internal rule. That
do you
why
guys
not just wait till later?
Do you guys think that all these will hit this year? Do you think everything that was at least at this direct will for sure hit in 2024, or do you think? I don't. I already don't like
if there's one that will slip, like one will slip, and I honestly, I hate to say it, I wouldn't say indie actually. I actually think Avowed. I think Avowed could slip.
Okay,
and it's not that Avowed will slip because it's not done. I think Avowed could slip because they have so much, and Avowed could become a big named IP that they give a lot of attention to. Sure. So give it some time to breathe. You know, maybe take some. You know, it could be allowed that just have some time to breathe while they have all these other things around. If there's any of them, I think possibly Avowed. Possibly, I don't know. Okay. I have no prior knowledge. Let us put the sloth hammer down. Okay.
I have an opposite opinion. I think that if anything slips, it's Indiana Jones, because
I think so too.
Wolfenstein: The New Colossus saw a brief delay before it came out, and you got to stick that landing. And Bethesda's been they've had a hard time with their games coming out and needing to be delayed. So I think Indiana Jones is probably coming out, but if one was going to get delayed, I think it would be Indy, because as far as I know, Avowed already saw an entire internal 1-year delay, and things look pretty good on both games. Like, they look very polished from what they showed. I was actually, I never do this, but I was like leaning in, and I'm like watching for pop in as they flew over those huge areas. And I was like watching for little glitches, and I was like, wow, this is pretty bulletproof. So I don't think Indiana Jones will get delayed, but I think if it was, it might be Indy. And Kay's got a really super good point that they can totally afford to take Avowed or Indy and move them to next year, because the problem is they do have too many games. They got Call of Duty, Gulf War coming out. They've got Project Odyssey, the Odyssey MMO, or the survival game, which might be like Palworld. And then they've got Avowed. They've got Indy, Call of Duty,
Flight Sim,
Odyssey, Flight Sim. And then probably something else, maybe Forza Horizon 6. So they've got a packed fall, and so they may just get to that point where they'll get into the early summer and say, how we doing? And if Bethesda's like, or Machine Games like, they'll say it's okay. But I don't. But
could be.
I'm going to predict that these games make it, eventually make it 24. That's my prediction.
Nice. Yeah. I lean towards they'll come out, but I think I'm with Colt on this one. I think if there is one that gets pushed, I think it would be Indy for multiple reasons. It's Disney, and if it's not perfect, I think push it back. They can certainly afford to do it. You know what I mean?
Well, Disney's put out some.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Well, I don't. Yeah. Listen, I just watched Echo. I'm not watching it. I'm just saying wasn't my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. Yeah, one and done. I'm good with Echo. So yeah, Disney's not infallible. That's for damn sure, especially lately. But we can move on to Hellblade and everyone's thoughts on that. How they liked another showing. Once again, we finally got a date though. Congratulations to the insider who told me this date. I will not say her name. Before the VGAs actually said this and got the date correct. So congratulations on that, sir. But yeah, I'll start with you, Kay. What was your thoughts on Hellblade, the showing, the date? You feeling good about the date? Were you hoping it was going to be Q1, or what's your whole thoughts on Hellblade 2 coming out this year?
So So I hate being that guy, but being unfortunately in the position that we are in, some of these things get like killed for us before we get a chance to see it. So I kind of knew that was the only one that date would be there, and I knew the date, and I think it's a good date. It's a solid date. The game itself, the smoke that has since come about because of its time or whatever. I think it's hilarious because it'll get me to play this game because it is concise.
Yes.
Right. Like I would not, like, you tell me 40 hours, I say, okay, backlog. You tell me 8 to 10. I'm like, all right, well, I'll prioritize that because I can have a beginning, middle, and end. I'll remember the story. It'll be concise, less filler, and we'll keep it moving. Right. I'm hoping, and even a plus on that side of the house. Not only is it concise, it's also cost effective because they didn't make it $70 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's a win-win all around. If there's any smoke that I kind of sort of understand is that people kind of wanted the physical version of this game because, some people have, it's been very hype inducing and all of that. And to find out that it's only a digital release is unfortunate,
Sure.
Some games that are indie games eventually get physical releases as a reward, right? Games like this probably deserve a good physical release, maybe an awesome statue that somebody can collect. So all that stuff, I get people are disappointed in it, but by and large, I love what they showed. I think it's awesome. Don't show anymore. Release the thing. Like, please don't show anymore.
Release the thing. I agree, dude. Yeah. Release the thing.
Don't show anymore. Release the thing.
I feel like
showing Hellblade. That's funny.
Right.
Yeah, please.
I feel like a lot. I feel there's some people are like, I can see as much as possible.
Slowly into Deathloop territory. You're getting slowly into the enough already.
One more time.
Yeah. I mean, now that we know it's probably 8 to 10 hours, the campaign.
Yeah.
We can't show any more because we're gonna know the ending at this point. It's like you can't enough Hellblade. No. Like
I gotta
I'm ready to see it. Go ahead.
On that trailer, like I have sensory overload with Hellblade. I've seen so much. I don't need to see. You get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm already gonna buy it, or I'm already gonna play it. So when they showed that brunette girl with the braids in her hair,
and it had Senna in the background, that shot.
When they were in a hut, like having a conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
I gotta say the stream looked really high quality. Like I was really impressed how clean the stream looked. Normally those streams don't look that nice on YouTube,
especially when it's dark too.
Yeah, I was watching that, and I was done the moment where I was sitting right here, and I leaned way in. I'm like, that literally looks like a movie. Like it doesn't look that you could. If you told me that was a video game, I'd be like, no, that's footage. It looks so good. And I keep telling people, Hellblade is going to be the first fully playable game where it does not look like a video game. And I know everyone talks about graphics. They talk about how amazing this studio or that studio is at graphics and how they can make games look so beautiful. And then you've got Ninja Theory making something that anybody could walk by your TV and go, what are you watching? While you're like swinging and beating the crap out of somebody. It looks that good. So yeah, it looks fantastic. I just don't need to see any more. It's like we're just waiting. Like they've had I feel like they've had like 4 trailers, like maybe 5, and then a couple of dev docs, and it's like we're ready. Yeah, May 21st. We're ready to play it.
Pull that Band-Aid off. Let's go. I'm excited for Hellblade's just the sound. Like we saw like behind the scenes footage of them in like Iceland and all the stuff that they're doing on the sound side. It sounds like, well, no pun intended. It sounds like it's gonna be great on the whole design of that.
I do have to say, I took a pretty big L on this one. Ninja Theory really postured this game like it was much bigger than the first one through all of their developer docs and everything they said, because I was getting called out for a tweet in 2020 where in 2020, 3 years ago, when I said this game is much bigger than the original, and the developer, I said the developers have said this themselves, and then now they announced that the game is the same length, you know,
Well,
5
but bigger,
or 8 hours.
Yeah, but I mean, you got a much
But it's
bigger
much
team.
bigger.
Right. It's
Yeah,
there's
it is bigger in
different
scope
ways
and
to-
scale.
there's-
Yeah,
right,
it is different.
exactly,
Yeah.
Kay. There's many different ways to construe
So you weren't wrong,
that.
Colt. You weren't wrong.
Yeah, unless Colt, you meant length, and in that case, you were definitely wrong. But it's fine. Like I'm right there with Kay Asante. The older I get, I've been preaching this. Please give me shorter games for a while. And if it was $70, I'd have a bone to pick with it, but it's not. It's $50 digital.
50.
There you go.
I got
That's right.
I got no problem with this. You know what else I didn't have a problem with that a lot of people probably did? Miles Morales. That's my favorite Spider-Man game. Came out $50. So
what do you call it? What do you call it? Gears, Hive Busters.
Hive Busters.
We need to live in a world where we can have beginning, middles, and ends and move on with our lives. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We need to have more. And presumably
Kay.
that will also keep costs in check. Maybe you can do one or two, like, one or two DLCs within that world because you didn't have to pad it out, 50-hour style. Maybe you give us 2 or 3 DLCs in that world and each of them charge us whatever you want to charge. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just need a beginning, a middle, and an end and move on. You know what I mean? Rather than this 50-hour experience,
The Avatar Frontiers of Pandora
3.
was a really bad, example, or a good example of that. And I really liked the game, and I got 20 plus hours into it. And then I just started to get really tired of it. Wanted me to go collect all these different things so I could eventually start building up more gear. And it was just sending me out over and over to pick fruit, kill some creatures.
So basically Ubisoft you, as Ubisoft does. It's
I mean, I should know better. I've spread my arms out as wide as I can in Ubisoft games and loved every minute of it. But there was something about Avatar that after 30 hours, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I pushed to the end to finish just the main quests. And what happened was you no longer have the correct gear. You have level 15 gear and you're doing a level 18 mission to finish the game and you're going to get stomped. And I died 1,000,000 times. And I'm like, but when I looked at the menu to all the side quests, I'm like, I'm not going to play this game for 25 more hours so I can access the final boss. Kay's right. Like, you need to find a middle ground where people can just sit down and play a game for 20 hours or 8 hours or 30 or whatever. But
finish the damn thing, because my back catalog is terrible. Look, we talked about this last week. I started Valhalla and we're all laughing. Like, you're not finishing that game. And I know I'm not. No. I'm not going to finish that game. But I'm going to.
It doesn't want you to finish.
It does.
I don't know if
let me look at my Valhalla number right now. I'm sure my Valhalla playtime is over 100 hours, and I'm telling you, the end is nowhere in sight. Like, nowhere in sight.
I
gave up on
that. Was where Avatar, like, I should have known better, because I love almost all the Assassin's Creed games, and Valhalla, I got to 150 hours. I'm like, I just want to be done. Okay, here's the main quest. And I tried. The game does not let you just play the main quest. It keeps saying, no, stop. No, we're going to put you on something else.
Right.
I don't know. Like, you would try to get over there and all these fortresses would be respawned with enemies. And I was asking Hargeet Chani, who beat the game like a couple weeks for me. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I finish this game? He's like, oh, you're just going to have to do this and this and this. I go, I'm trying. It just doesn't end. And, normally I mean, I did everything in Odyssey, but whatever.
Yeah.
Shorter
games. Yeah. Shorter games. Yay.
Yes.
Yay. Shorter games. Doc 50 just became a member for 3 months. Says people want every AAA to look like Hellblade 2. Well, we know some people definitely do. Wolverine. So oops. Hey, it's good for Xbox to get the graphic fidelity trophy. That never happens over here. So in your face. Spartan661 with the $5 super chat says, Avowed is the Elder Scrolls like game we want before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Yeah, to hold us over. I'm sure when it releases, we will be pleased. I think so too, Spartan. It's Obsidian. I have faith. And if they need to delay it, they'll delay it, which is fine by me, because we got too many damn games. But yeah, Dave, what's your 2 cents about Hellblade? Do you care about the $50 thing? Do you care about the length of the game?
No.
What you had to say, sir.
I'm good with that. I mean, for the price, you're going to get what you paid for. So it's not like they're really trying to rake you over the coals.
Right.
That's kind of a benefit. And then of course there's always the other side trying to turn it and saying, well, it must not be any good then if they're only going to charge this much for it. Whatever, dude. You think what you want, we're going to enjoy it. It looks fantastic, looks beautiful.
Sure.
I mean, and like that the message said, when the documents leaked, and one of the things that they were talking about for the Spider-Man developers were saying that they, want their Spider-Man 3 to be on par with these kind of graphics from this game, from Hellblade 2. And they actually specifically called that game out, that this is what the bar we need to shoot for. So to me, that's a big compliment to the, to the Hellblade, to the Ninja Theory, the work that they're doing. And, if other games are saying we need to look as good as this, and talking about the short little a bite-sized game for a good price, as much as I think it's kind of bizarre, but in those documents they were talking about Spider-Man 3 releasing in smaller increments, like
the 50-50-50 thing,
50-50-50, right? So hopefully it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be that bad on some Microsoft games, but I can see a good chunk of game coming out. Why not? There's nothing wrong with that to me. It's and it's going to be in Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, who cares?
Yep.
It's going to be amazing. You're going to play it. And this past week, the original was on sale for like 2 days to buy for like $2.99. So I just went ahead and bought it. And it's in Game Pass. We'll stay in Game Pass. I figured I'll throw the $2.99 developers. Why not? So yeah,
support the devs. Good job,
exactly. And over 320 people here in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. A lot of great people in the community. Special Nick is here, which is really nice, and he's giving Colt a hard time. Don't give Colt a hard time. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what, RHETRI?
Sure.
Say your bars on that, and we're going to continue on the subject. But I do actually have something that Special Nick said all queued up and ready to go.
Okay.
If we want to play that. Right.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I just want to say this little thing that Brian Harris said in the chat. He said, my old eyesight is going. I don't care about visuals. I care about gameplay and story. Yeah, because when you get older, you can't really see the visuals anymore anyway. So I'm with you there. For me, Hellblade, what I want out of Hellblade, it feels like the combat is better. The combat for me was an issue in the first game. But probably more than the combat, I hope the puzzles don't suck, man. I was not a fan of those puzzles and Hellblade 1. So I guess I'm just terrible at puzzles. I don't know. I just hope they're easier or they're just not as annoying.
I'm stuck on the aligning the 3 ravens, which uses like a dimensional portal thing, and it just keeps turning itself off and on. Like I'll go back and everything just deselects, and now it's no longer dynamically moving, and I would have to start the game over a third time. It's my second major glitch. I haven't heard people complain about glitches, but people are always asking why haven't I finished the game? I ran into one glitch where you go up to an altar and Senya I could walk her through a door that wouldn't open. She just walked through it, and then I'd get up to the altar and it wouldn't trigger a cutscene because the door didn't open before. And now I have this other glitch. I'm like, well, I mean, most people don't have glitches like that. I just got super unlucky. So I never finished it.
You weren't following the exact path that you had to go on, Colt, bringing it back.
That's what I'm thinking. Like I was looking up guides the other night and I'm like, forget this. And then Palworld came out and saved me.
Right. You walked 2 feet to the left. You weren't supposed to do that. You're supposed to stay on the trail. Let's see. KJ Wars 85 just he gifted a membership, so appreciate that, man. All right, go ahead, Dave.
Thanks for doing that, man.
Play your
So Special Nick,
Mr.
he was
Nick's.
on the Infinite podcast Friday night, which was very nice of him to come as a guest on their show. Maybe he'll become a guest on our show sometime.
Yeah, Nick.
I'm just messing, man. I'm just messing. We love you, Nick. You're amazing. Continue your great work, sir. So let's play this little clip because I thought it was pretty cool because they did kind of get a little bit of heat on it, and it was actually more John's fault than it was Nick's. So
Tony seems to not want to let that go. 16. 16 was the game I was fucking talking about last week.
Really?
John had to open his big yap and be like, "Gonna set the internet on fire." I'm like, "Oh god!"
So that's the
And then
mystery
everyone-
game you were talking about.
Yes, I was talking about Final Fantasy 16. I got the DM and they were like, "If you want something for the rumor mill, Final Fantasy 16 is getting an Xbox port," and I'm like, "I don't want to touch that. Don't want to touch that. I don't want to talk about it." Yeah.
Poor guys.
Yeah, I don't blame Nick for not wanting to touch that one. That's sitting hot water right there. But I'll make you guys do it. You think that's happening? Do you think it's true?
I bet it is.
Oh yeah.
I bet it is. I bet
they're
it's so
doubling down,
funny.
right?
If it was a PS5 exclusive in 2023, yeah.
Mhm.
And then if it came to Xbox at the end of 2024, I think that'd be hilarious. I would also bet that Final Fantasy VII trilogy is coming to Xbox as soon as they wrap on the PlayStation. I would bet that they're probably going to start working on those ports as they're wrapping up the trilogy on PlayStation, and then that whole thing will come to Xbox. And I would also guess that the leadership is like tired of Xbox being left out of more sales for their games, you know, because they've left some off that just haven't gone there. Of course, PlayStation paid for 16 and for 7, but when you have as many Final Fantasy 7 games playable on Xbox console right now as PlayStation does, you need to get those other ones over there. And I think the Square new leadership is like, yeah, that we're tired of this. We're done. We're gonna start working with Phil and his team and get these games over there. That's my take on it anyway.
More money on their plate.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't really have much to lose. Even if you sell 1 million copies, it's still worth a port. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to set the world on fire, right, Nick? Star Traffic brought up a good point to something we were talking about with the length. He said BioShock was short, Resident Evil was short, Alan Wake was short. Yeah. Not a problem on those games, though, right? I wonder why. All right,
so what's the next game we're going to talk about from the Direct?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't know if you guys even want to bother. It sounds like nobody cares about Aura History Untold.
I will play it. I will play it. Now,
okay.
Yes. It's not something I'm usually going to be all about because I know that like those are the kind of games that will take your life. Like they will take your life. They just will. But I have a 7-year-old and I want her to get into these kind of games because they're actually really educational and they help you with history and all of that. So I want to sit her down and I want to play it with her. So I will play. I was actually thinking of playing Civ with her, but looks like it might be up my alley. So I'll definitely play it. You know, it's not like, oh my God, I can't wait to play it. You know, I get all that. You know, it's less on the priority list than maybe others in the gaming sphere. But for those who like that kind of game, this is super exciting. You know, and hey, props to Xbox for keeping some of these genres alive because they seem to be the only ones besides some third parties that are doing that as well. You know? Yeah.
I don't want to speak for him, but I'm guessing Boxenberger's very excited about a game like this since he's such a he's such a fan of these types of games. One thing I did like about Aura that they were kind of touting, it seems like with a lot of these other games, it's like you take your one turn and the enemy takes its turn, back and forth with the AI. It kind of looks like you can do multiple things at the same time. Like you can do a defense strategy while you're doing an attack. Like you can pick multiple sectors. And most games don't do that because it would probably crash because it would just be too much going on at the same time. So they must be doing some magic behind the scenes from the developers to be able to pull that off. So I find that exciting. I don't think anyone else does except for maybe me and Boxenberger. That's fine. But anyone else have anything they want to add into the Aura History Untold game? Are you guys interested in it, Colt or WebDave, or what's your
I'm not really, no.
What was shown? No.
No.
Easy enough.
Be honest, nope.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Colt, I mean, I tried Age of Empires when it came. I got an early access copy through Xbox to review, and I played it for a little bit. I just don't play those things anymore. I never really played them. Like my jam would be SimCity back in the day, and then Roller Coaster Tycoon. Give me Roller Coaster Tycoon instead of Aura History Untold, and then we'll have a different conversation. But that's just me.
There you go.
I like that. All right. Well, I'm going to save Indy for last. We'll talk about a little bit of Visions of Mana. I'm what I like about this, and it's not necessary. I think the game looks good enough. I think it looks pretty good. But what's interesting to me is in the direct and what we expected, we had a lot of people, including myself, saying it's going to be first party, first party, first party. And this now opens the door. This is no longer a first party show as far as I'm concerned because of Square Enix. So I'm wondering if we're going to see other studio. Like I expected something like this to be at the partner show that Xbox had last time, but maybe Square is just too big to show, because the partner show was mostly like smaller games and smaller indie types. But I'm curious to see if we get more, third-party studios stepping in during directs, because I do expect there to be more directs this year, at least one more. What do you guys think of Visions? No, what do you think?
No, I don't think there'll be another direct. I think Xbox's cadence is a January direct, a June showcase, and then a couple of appearances at Games Fest or Game Awards and what's it called? Gamescom. There you go. I think that's what they're doing. Like they'll have like one big reveal at the end of the year for either Gamescom or the Game Awards in December, and then they'll save everything else for the following couple of months for the direct in January yet again. I think that's what they're doing. Yeah. I did talk to Xbox about that. We wanted 2 directs per year. Like if you do a direct in the late summer or in the early fall, and then if you have the direct at the beginning of the year, the summer showcase, and then another direct in the late fall, we would absolutely love that. But they probably think those announcements would have kind of borrow from each other. But we'll see.
Yeah.
And they do have QuakeCon now, and they also have BlizzCon now, which is there.
Yeah.
I mean, for certain stuff, like they can definitely showcase it there.
Yep.
It's time they use those cons that they have. They even have Minecon. They have all these cons that people forget are related to them. They need to start making those things worthy. They need to start making them something that people tune in for.
Sure. Okay.
Agreed.
What about Visions of Mana for you? Did that move the needle at all? Or are you?
I mean, like I said, well, no, not really. Come on now, you're putting cute little monsters. You're putting machine guns on them. Come on now. Anyway, no. When it comes to Visions of Mana, I mean, it's a storied franchise. I remember playing like some Visions of Mana on NES consoles, like way back in the day, like 2D sprite, games. So I think there's like 17 of them at this point. That's what they were saying. Like there's
Secret
a whole lot,
Mana
right?
And a whole bunch of others. Yeah.
Exactly. So where I am today in my gaming, I would have said nope, I'm not really interested. But the Sea of Stars has really like captured me. Like I've been playing that for a long time now. So that opens up more doors for me in that realm as well. So I would say, for the purposes of this show, the idea, the Square, oh my God, it's Square is there. That's what the big hit was. Maybe the game, the content they had to show maybe was not as powerful, especially considering that we'd already seen Visions of Mana at the Keeleys before. So this wasn't a big drop from out of nowhere. But yeah, I think it's cool. This is one of those things where if and when it joins Game Pass, it may garner a good interest, right? What made me excited when I saw this is exactly what happened with Sega, right? You saw one small little thing drop, and people were like, interesting. Check 6 months later, everything is on Game Pass except for Sonic, right? So I expect this is a small drop. Let's see what happens. I'm excited for what's to come with Square more than anything else.
Sure. Now they didn't say Visions of Mana was coming onto Game Pass, but do you guys believe that it will?
Yeah. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But you know as well as I do these days, anytime Microsoft has a conversation with you, Game Pass is in the other hand. They're just waiting to pass it to you. Whether you choose to accept it is your choice. So I'm sure those conversations are being had. If this doesn't end up there, maybe some back catalog games do. I just know that for sure, as the conversations have started, we're going to see more in that realm.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think obviously the Phil coming up on stage, was the Square CEO and shaking the hand. I mean, like it was like the most set up, like shaking of the hands, take a picture, like taking a picture with the president type of thing. I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the future with Square.
Absolutely.
So, Highlander 000 has gifted 5 memberships for the Gamers Council.
Nice.
I appreciate that, brother.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Well done,
that.
sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And Takato goes, choo choo.
Choo choo, choo choo, mofo. Yeah. Thank you, Takato. Appreciate you, brother.
Too funny.
Yeah. We got to come up with a slogan so we can get like our own train coming out. That's coming. We'll talk about that there. Dave, what about you for Visions of Mana? Do you care about this game or?
Yeah, I do. I think I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy. To me, it's more of a not simple game, but it's more of a, it's one that you can get into. You know where you're going. It's turn based. It's you get right through it, and I enjoy these kind of games. I love the graphics. But they stepped it up. I really, it's about time that more and more things are coming, and I believe there's going to be a lot more that we're going to see, in the future. Now, I'm not, Nostradamus or not any kind of insider thing, but from the way Phil was talking, and it seemed like the new open attitude at Square Enix. I'm not even talking about an acquisition. I'm just talking about the, we need to make money and let's put our games everywhere to continue to make money instead of having ourselves tied to other formats. And even, as many people say, PlayStation had 50,000 or 50 million consoles or whatever sold, but when Final Fantasy 16 only sold like under 9 million copies, I mean, it's not a great percentage considering, or it was less than that, I think, maybe even 4 billion. But where they wanted to, to make their money back. So if it was more places, more chances to make more money. And that's another thing about Game Pass. A lot of people don't give it credit for is it's not only on the consoles, it's also on PC, handhelds, streaming. So it's more than one place. So that's the thing that a lot of people just don't take into consideration. And when you look at the numbers, revenue is king. And when, Microsoft is making more money than Sony is in their gaming division, there's a reason for that. Is because, it's 50 million consoles, but how much do you make on each console? Not that much. Yeah. Even with the revamp and redo.
At least they make something. I think Xbox still loses money on the console.
True.
You're right.
Very true. Yeah, they make something, probably not enough. I mean, obviously the real money is software. I mean, ask Tencent. They know all about that. But Star Traffic, Star Traffic had a good point. He says Vision of Mana was about sending a message. Yeah, I think it was about sending a message. I absolutely think that was, and we might never see that again. Square Enix might have been a one-off. I just thought it was interesting. So
what you're saying is Visions of Mana was the horse head on the bed. I understand. Okay,
exactly, exactly. Good God,
I think it really was the hint that Final Fantasy and other games are coming. They're just getting started. They shook that hand like in the summer of 23. So like we're just getting started here where these games will start coming to Xbox. So this is the new regime where games don't have to miss the Xbox console.
Yeah.
I mean, why leave a couple 100,000 sales like on the table?
All right.
It's silly too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. More money.
Oh. Read down.
Spartan 661 with the $2 says chitty chitty bang bang LOL. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, we'll get into the big boy. I know this is probably the game that most people were excited for, at least when I did a poll on my channel. That's what everyone said. It was Indiana Jones, and then Avowed, and then everything else. So we're going to talk about Indiana Jones.
Why did it have to be snakes?
There you go. You had that ready to go. I didn't see that coming. So Indiana Jones, guys. I'll start with you, Colt. What's your thoughts about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? Are you a fan?
Yeah. My thought is, I wanted it third person, but I'm not an idiot. I'm gonna be excited to play it Machine Games in first person because I love their games. They're phenomenal. And I'm going to be respectful of that. They made a choice and they want this game to be unique and they want it to be great and they want it to do what it does best. And I'm with the people who said, why make this like every other game that is copied before it? Why copy what Uncharted and Tomb Raider have done and go back and just re-emulate that again? Well, you could, and maybe it would be great, but this is Machine games are special. New Colossus, New Order, New Blood are amazing. So this is a good choice. And the funny thing is, a lot of the players were complaining, or some fans were complaining, but it was interesting to see the games media as a whole super, super excited for what they saw from Indiana Jones. They think it looks great. They can't wait to be behind the fists and behind the whip of Indiana Jones. So I think sometimes we can, as diehard fans, we can be really hypercritical. Yeah. But I mean, let them cook. Yeah, let Machine Games do what they do.
It's Machine Games, man.
I'm excited.
They got a great reputation. Like I think all of us, maybe I don't want to speak for everyone, but I know a lot of us wanted it to be third person. But then you see it and you watch it and you're like, maybe I was wrong. Like, but it's Machine Games. Like, this is their forte. This is what they do. This is what they do best. So, let them stay in their lane. But at the same time, I'm not coming after anyone who wanted this. And I've seen some people I respect and love on Twitter saying, man, I'm super disappointed that this isn't third person. And I get it. I was disappointed at first too. I was actually a little surprised. But at least we'll get the whole third person view and the cinematics and the climbing mechanics. So at least you'll get to see Indy. I don't know if we're going to be changing outfits with Indy very, very often, or if it's just going to stay with his iconic leather and his hat and his whip and everything's going to stay the same. So maybe it doesn't matter as much as we like to think it does. But I don't know. Kay, what's your thoughts about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, man? Did you enjoy what you saw at the Direct?
I did. I thought it was amazing. I too initially was like, hey, you know what? I actually think, believe it or not, that what set people on possibly the wrong path on the first person, third person debate was seeing somebody like Arcane go, hey, we're doing third person, right? That kind of gave people maybe hope that, all the bets are off. They could possibly do something. But if you really think about it, right? If you are a Machine Games fan, you don't want them to do third person because you want them to do what they do best. And clearly they do first person really excellently. I am one unpopular opinion. Until I saw Indiana Jones, I wanted Wolfenstein 3 instead of anything else. I want to finish the damn story. Like, don't make every story a cliffhanger like goddamn Halo. Like, come on, finish something, But as soon as I saw the Indiana Jones and I saw what they like the energy they're trying to bring to it, I'm convinced it's really good. They're doing a great job. Anybody that is having a problem with the first versus third person thing, have you played what do you call it? Cyberpunk. Same exact idea. Hey, there you go. See, this is Sailor knows what I'm talking about.
Good mind.
Cyberpunk. The minute you're on your bike, you're in third person. The minute you get off your bike, you're back in first. Same thing here, right? The minute you traverse the world, you're in third. The minute you get back to it, you're in first. I honestly think it's a good idea that they did that as well, because at the end of the day, you don't want look. Indiana Jones is source material for all the other games that we know today, right? The Uncharted's, the Tomb Raiders. Indiana Jones is the source material of that. You cannot have the source material be referenced as a clone of what was the source material, right? Oh, it's an Uncharted clone. That would be just that very nature would be a disrespect. Like Harrison Ford will spit and he won't know why. He'll just be upset. Like we don't want to live in that world. So this completely separates that, right? This completely puts a different spin on it. It's an apples and oranges comparison and this and that. And those who say, well, we wanted to see that battle, that comparison. Well, you got Arcane for that, and they're doing Blade. We'll see that battle, right? So I think what Machine Games showed was amazing. I think they showed really, really like. They understand the character. They understand that world, right? They gave us more hope for that world than any of the recent movies have, right? They really did that. They outshined all of the recent movies in that small one fell swoop, because we've seen even the recent one, which is not as bad as the one previous, still not as good. Still not as good. So yeah, I'm hoping the story is great. You know, it'll be the like RoboCop. It'll be the game / movie we always wanted and didn't get. You know, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you guys disappointed at all at the voice acting? Because I got to be honest with you, it actually fooled me.
I love it.
I was
until someone said it was Troy Baker. I did not hear it.
I didn't either.
And I'm very good at voices. I'm good at voices. I'm good at accents. I always have been. I didn't hear it until somebody said Troy Baker, and then I listened again. I was like, "Son of a it is Troy." Yeah. Look. I don't want Harrison to phone it in, and he phones everything in these days. So hey, let Troy do what Troy does. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yeah.
And they get to use his likeness. I mean, so why not?
True.
Why not? Yeah.
He doesn't age in a video game if you don't want him to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've he's still making money off this game. Trust me.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Absolutely.
But that's good. He doesn't have to put in the work, and we get the benefits of it.
I do like that they like the bracket and where they put the game, so it's between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, so it's taking place in 1937. So I'm really happy we didn't get like an older indie. I'm really kind of tired of seeing my heroes age. It's getting it's getting
tired of seeing
too close to
my
home.
music heroes age too.
Exactly.
I saw
RHETRI, I can't help you getting older, buddy.
I saw a meme that said, you're getting old when your favorite rock stars starting to look like your grandma. And there was a picture of all these rock stars. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they really do. Yeah. They start to look like a grandma. I want all of my favorite actors and actresses to look the same as they did when I first watched them in the 80s and 90s. Absolutely. And they don't. We all gain weight and then we get gray and.
That's why I have a tough time watching Expendables. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm like, oh man, this is the 80s were so good. Yeah.
Well,
oh man.
And you think about it, the 80s. It's like somebody says like that's on oldie goldies radio stations now. I'm like, what? Because it's over 40 years old music. I'm like, son of a bitch. It is.
It's true.
Oh shit.
Oh, man. Yeah. Dave, we'll go to you. What's your whole take on the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and everything that was showed at the Direct?
I liked it a lot, and with the Kay was talking about and Cole was talking about, on cutaways, it's going to be, the third person part. You climbing the wall, he's on a car, whatever. And the cutscenes and stuff, and they seem like they pull from the action right into the cutscenes, so it's not it's not too jarring and it's kind of a nice thing. They said, they don't want you to play as Indiana Jones. They want you to become Indiana Jones. And first person can really do that for you. It's kind of like you become Master Chief, when you're playing Halo, and it's a lot of fun. And like I said, there'll be some people that don't like it, but one thing I do, there was a lot of different podcasts that called this out, saying that if they had gone third person, then the quote unquote fanboys would have had a field day comparing it. And there's already people out there saying, well, they're ripping off Nathan Drake and Tomb Raider. I'm like, hello, that all came from Indiana Jones to begin with. And if you don't,
and then there's the whole, I'm good. I got Uncharted already. It's like, yeah, in the 2010s, we all had Uncharted in 09 or 08 to 2016. And where's Uncharted now?
For another one. They keep
I'm playing
we want
games
another
now.
Uncharted. Right.
So this year, I'm gonna play Indiana Jones. I've always been able to go back and play the Uncharted games again if I wanted to. But I'm talking about a game going forward. No, we're good. We got Nathan Drake. Yeah, you had Nathan Drake. We all had Nathan Drake. We all had him now. But
pause.
This is and then they try to use the thing like, oh, the movies suck. The movies suck now. It's like, pay attention. Todd Howard has said the best movie of all time, no argument. His words, no dispute. The best movie of all time is Raiders of the Lost Ark. He says it's the perfect movie. And so when he pushed out in 2009 to make this game, he wanted to emulate that feeling he got from the best movie ever made, in his opinion. And so I think Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is supposed to be his love letter to Raiders of the Lost Ark, the prime of Indiana Jones, not this, not the gray Indiana Jones who's seen as
by the way,
again for for many,
To your
you know,
point,
40
Colt.
years later.
To your point, Colt, where did they put it in the timeline? Right when they were showing the game off, they literally put it in the
Right in the
timeline
middle.
between
In the
the
sweet
second
spot.
and third game, the
Yep.
second and third movie, the sweet spot. So there's
Yeah.
no way they'll try to hit that trajectory and then have a completely different game that doesn't
Right.
have the same feel between those two movies. They're literally they are Babe Ruthing the shot right there. Now the question is, will they hit it? It looks well. It looks like they will.
I mean,
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, it feels like they got the tone. Like it definitely feels like they got the right tone going on, and that's why
Absolutely.
we mentioned like where
And the
it was being
music.
placed. And music looks great.
Mhm.
Yeah, music is
Yep.
sounding great. They got a composer that can kind of mimic.
Well, he
God,
studied
what's his
under.
name? Oh, was
John
he under
Williams,
him?
so, yes.
Okay, it was
Studied
under
under
John
John
Williams.
Williams. Yep.
So
Mhm.
and yeah,
There you
so
go.
there you go.
That's why
read
it
that,
sounds so good. Yeah, this is a great point. I'm glad he Wombat OBM mentioned this. He's like, what I
Welcome,
like
buddy.
most about the diversity of the gameplay, the whip is dynamic. Exactly, you can use it for stealth, distractions. That's one of the things that I thought was really cool was the distraction part. Traversal, knock weapons out of hands, etc. It has open environments with multiple paths. Like absolutely, because I was wondering, I'm like, what? How far can you go with the action side of Indiana Jones, you know what I mean, with the whip. So I'm glad to see that they thought of all kinds of different scenarios that you can use the whip in, and scenarios I don't think I've seen before. I don't know if I've seen anything with Indy in the movies using it as a distraction, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember that. To be honest.
Although
Mhm.
I will pull a well actually, which I heard this and it was hilarious. I'm waiting for the game to come out to really do it, but I will pull a well actually in that how the whip cracks is just completely weird. Like whips crack in the middle, that's where the sound is, not at the edge.
Not at the end.
So if you're
Okay.
so if you're using that to distract somebody, the distraction should come from where it cracks, which would be closer to you rather than the end. But they're using it to. I'm sorry, my science.
We're gonna
Forgive me.
Yeah, we're gonna call you Pixel Peepin' K Asante over here.
Yeah.
No,
you
it's
know what
not
I'm saying.
correct, guys.
Well, maybe
technically-
the whip hit
Uh-huh.
thing that distracted him in the distance. Yeah, that's
Because technically, if you crack a whip, the crack is
No, you're
closer to you than the end. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'll be quiet.
No,
It's
no,
fine,
no.
it's
Don't be
fine,
quiet.
Ken.
That's why we love this conversation, man. Love having both of you on here
Yeah.
just for this
Yep.
reason, man. It's awesome. RHETRI, I know you want to get your points in, but I do
Oh,
want
go for it.
I want to play something as I finish up my point. And
Sure.
yes, it's a little ponyish, but but yeah,
Oh, no.
how can you not know? How can you not already know? And this is what I'm talking about. So yeah,
Oh God,
Oh,
these
boy.
guys. We already know this one.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Sick.
Game Pass.
Sick.
Game Pass.
Wow, Game Pass.
Oh, that's actually, well, I wonder,
What's the deal with
I'm
that?
curious because even if it were on PlayStation, they wouldn't say it in the
But it's-
Xbox show.
I'm just
You know-
surprised it's on
But that's
Game Pass. at all.
Bethesda.
Right. But it's like, that's the weird thing is like
Yeah.
with the license, would they put it on PlayStation or not?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think so.
It's Toto. Let's see if there's one more, but I kind of doubt it.
No, that's it.
No, yeah, the one more was
real.
Visions of Mana. Yeah.
Well put together.
So
You're looking for an email, but see, confirm that it's not on PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah,
because
well,
that is a 10 out of 10 exclusive.
I'm sure he
right
got
Yes.
bombarded with
Wow.
the dude. It's not fucking coming.
Buy an Xbox. Buy an
Exactly.
Xbox.
That's
Or
the
use your
legendary
$5,000
Daniel
PC.
Bloodworth from Game Trailers fame and Easy Allies. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
He's
I mean, do they
very
not
well
follow the case?
knowledgeable in the industry, but to say, I think it's coming.
It's shocking that he wouldn't.
Oh,
I mean-
I gotta say,
Was it a setup? I don't know.
Go-
Was
go
that
ahead.
real?
no, it's just the attitude of a certain group of gamers that feel like there's no way that a game is not coming to my
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Right.
It is this attitude. And I know everyone used the word entitlement, but it's just this stance that like,
Yep.
I'm going to play that on my PlayStation. Oh, that should come to my PlayStation. But I want to play that on my PlayStation was the clip we heard that day as well. Where there's this the entitlement that
Mhm.
there's no way that a game looks awesome and it's not coming to my PlayStation. It's also what we're seeing with Palworld right now.
Yeah,
the developers
right.
spoke out about an hour ago and said they were getting death threats from fans asking why the game isn't on PlayStation. I mean, I don't know a lot about, working business relationships with studios and platforms and publishers, but I think as far as I know, death threats aren't like in the chain of command for getting games, ported over to your console or sending pictures of your junk. I don't know what is going on over there.
That probably would have done it, right? Yeah. The dick pic.
Yeah, I mean that seems to be their MO. It's like either I'll send him a picture of this thing, or I'll send him a death threat. That'll get my game over there. Or that'll get my release date.
That'll show him
ASAP.
Yeah, it'll show him something. All right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I don't know what I just have to say. I've been playing games my whole life, and I have a PS5, a Switch, Series X, PC. I play it on all of it. Right. I have a public service announcement to go out to the gaming fans out there across the world. If you want to play lots of games, you literally have to play on anything than just a PS5. Like if you don't want to miss anything, if you'd like to play all the games that appeal to you, you have to play on something besides just a PlayStation. That's just how it is. And people get mad when I say, like, "Oh, Cole, I can't afford all the consoles." Like, well, Xbox doesn't make you. You can literally play Indiana Jones on your mom's dusty laptop if it has Windows 10 on it through cloud. Well, I don't want to play that way. Well, I'm sorry. I mean,
and you don't
does
play.
your little brother have a PC in the house? I mean, I know it. I want to take all that back because it sounds so rude, but and somebody's going to clip that, right? But
you're not wrong, though, Colt. You can play it on the damn Chromebook, for God's sake.
You cannot live in the world and say, I want to play everything, and then refuse to move away an inch away from your precious PlayStation 5. That's just, and that's not how it works. And I went and bought a PS4 because I had to play Spider-Man and God of War in 2018. Like, I was like, okay, they just put out Uncharted. They just put out these other games, and then I want to play Spider-Man and God of War. So I bought a used PS4. That's just how it is. And it's just how the world is. It's just, but Xbox allows you so much freedom and flexibility where people like to talk about the sales of the consoles, and people like to call me a console plastic warrior when I don't care about the plastic anymore. For me, it doesn't, it's not even consequential to me to worry about how many sales a PlayStation or an Xbox has, because it doesn't matter to me. I already own them. It's really about the platform. Xbox has built this ecosystem where they own all these 35 studios, and they said, you don't have to buy an Xbox. Like, buy an Xbox. We have a $300 one. We have a $500 one. You want to build a $700 price picked PC? Do it. You want to build or buy a $6,000 PC? Play our games the best way they could possibly look. You want to only play on the cloud? You want to play on the Lenovo or the Steam Deck? Like, for me to say play on anything literally in just a PlayStation 5, I feel like that's not a jerk comment for me to make. I feel like it's a rational, reasonable comment to make. And now I'm going to take a break.
No, you're
and
right.
scene. Good points, Cole.
Jeez.
But no, it's all good points, man. It really is. And it's just one of those things where it's like that they can't or they couldn't get that in their head that, I mean, we follow the court case, and you seem like game journalists, they probably would have followed along a little bit. And that was one of the big talking points that came out, that was like that they went through and they paid more money to make the game exclusive to their ecosystem.
Yep.
That was all released in court, documents, and was talked about and out in ether extensively. And almost all game media covered that because they were all like, oh, can you believe this? Can you believe this? And it's like, they either not paying attention, or they're still like, oh, that can't be true. Hello, what? I don't know. One of the court documents that are under oath, I don't really know how you can, say that they're lying, because they're not. Rich, read it real quick, and then we'll get your points on this.
Sure. Highlander 001 with the $2 super chat says, these are the guys who did Riddick Butcher's Bay. Yep. That game was so good. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with Cole. The thing is like a lot of people are like, well, I can't play. Well, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it either. It's like people forget about the option. Just then you don't get it, or save up for it. You know what I mean? One thing I love about Xbox is they brought in the all access Xbox All Access. I wish, I'm surprised PlayStation didn't do something like that, where you interest free, you pay it over 2 years, and you have your you have your box. You got the console, and it doesn't break the bank at $500 or $550.
2 years of
or
Game Pass is
700 wherever the hell
included.
you live.
2 years
Well,
of Game
yeah,
Pass
on that
your
end,
debit.
yeah, which means
That's how I got
PlayStation could do
mine.
it cheaper. That's how I got mine. That's how a lot of my friends, I convinced them. They're like, I can't really drop 500 right now. I'm like, oh, okay, just pay. I think it was 35 for
37 with
Series.
tax.
Yeah, thank you. 37 with tax. And almost everyone I know went all access, and they didn't advertise that enough, in my opinion, because I think a lot more people would have jumped on the all access. But why didn't PlayStation do something like that? They didn't have to bundle in. They didn't have to bundle in anything, PS Plus with it. Of course, it didn't, shit then anyways. But they could have done it for cheaper too. You could have got it cheaper monthly, but they didn't. So that's their fault. People who want to play these games, you either get an Xbox, or like Colt was saying, there's so many ways to play these games. You can play them through the cloud. You can play them through your Chromebook. You don't have to drop that much money right off the bat. So, it is what it is. For me, Indie looked great. My second favorite game of the night. I love where it's sitting, and I like that we got young Indie in his prime. Big fan, like what OBM said. I was really impressed with all the different things that you can do with the whip. Pause. The humor. What's really hard in games is humor, and they kept. That's why I feel the vibe of Indie coming through here, as the humor was coming through when he was talking to the other girl, which I cannot remember her name right now. The other person who's in the story, kind of going back and forth with Indie. He always has that counterpart. He always has that female where there's the sexual tension, but they're always like, I pretend hate you, and then they end up making up and having sex later. But I don't know if that's going to happen in this game. But sure. But yeah, I'm here for it.
Okay.
I think it looks. Hey, and we got Candyman. Candyman made an appearance. So Tony Todd making an appearance in the trailer. So I was like, is that Candyman? Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's Candyman. It looks just like him. So I'm all about this game. I think it looks great. Machine Games. It's Machine Games. That's really all I have to say. So, you got anything to add to this, Dave, or before we wrap it up with this whole Indie thing, or?
No, that's that pretty much it, man. I think that says it all. It was a great show all the way around, I thought, and lots of great stuff coming, and we have more information coming, and supposedly, and I don't know if Colt's heard this, other people I've talked to have said that there's rumors that maybe in the next couple of months, maybe Special Nick will know, that there may be some kind of Activision or Blizzard roundtable in the future coming our way. Some kind of little, hey, now that things are kind of wrapped up, now let's introduce it. Now let's talk about some of the games we're going to be bringing into Game Pass, because they clearly separated it from this, which is good. I think it's a good thing that they did.
Sure.
So we'll see what's next, man. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Yeah, same. It's going to be interesting when we get all those drops from Activision. I'm just curious to see if they do what they did with Bethesda, or if they drip feed us. I'm a fan of the drip feed, just because my back catalog is just...
I've heard that the drip feed the drip feed may be the forward momentum, because what they did with Bethesda may have given some games short shrift.
Right.
So it'll give you more attention as they drip feed as more come. So yeah, I too have heard rumblings of potential, round table, not round table, but hey, this is the roadmap for ABK specifically. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Lots to look forward to if you're a Game Pass or in the ecosystem, I should say. So it's gonna be fun, man. Lots to talk about. All right, are we wrapping it up here, Dave? Or
I think so. I think that's it was a good show, and I don't want to quote unquote beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, there really is a lot more to go into, a lot more in depth and things to come up and talk about. And the Kay had a great show yesterday, which was fantastic and amazing as always. And then Colt's got a show coming up tomorrow night, and that's going to be I'm sure it's going to be really big. Him and Meg getting into that. So I guess with that said, thank you to over 330 people that are in the chat right now. Thank you all so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it. We do appreciate you so much. And if you get a chance, hit the like button on the way out. That would be great. 300 plus likes on this video would be fantastic. I mean, come on, we had Colteastwood, we had Asante. You can't ask for anything better, man. This is pretty awesome. And of course, RHETRI.
Thanks, Dave.
You have to put up with me because that's on my channel. But everybody else is a blessing to have on here. And Farq, good to see you. And by the way, Farq. So anyway, no, I love him. I'm just kidding. I know it's a joke we have.
That's our London brother.
Come on, yeah, we love Farq. He's amazing. and like I said, so let's go to Colteastwood first. Colt, buddy, please. Again, thank you so much for being here and being on the show tonight. It meant the world to us, and we love having you. And please tell everybody where they can find you, and when maybe you have another video coming, because you got some great ones.
Thanks. I don't know when I'll have my next video. You remind me, like, hey, Cole, you have a show tomorrow. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, that'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, which is Monday if you're in North America. But if you're in Australia, that's like Tuesday morning or something. But we appreciate
in the future.
Yeah, I really appreciate Mag, and I really appreciate the people that are checking out the show from all over the world. And I'm really, really grateful for Mag. We've been learning a lot off from each other, and it's been having a good time with a really, really, really great audience. Like, our chat is really, really, they're just phenomenal, and they're really super supportive. So thank you guys for having me on here. And I'll try to get back to, I'm like the last guy making videos out of my friend group. They've all kind of like dropped off, and we were talking about it the other night. So I'm trying to make content and produce videos. So I like making them, and hopefully people like watching them. So that's probably why I do
you
it.
do a great job.
So.
I enjoy watching them.
Thank you.
Do them just for me.
The Trav says I need to make more sizzle reels for Call Murder Artie. So he loves those.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I mean, I just like doing that stuff. So yeah, you can follow me at Colteastwood on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And those places will get you to my content, and just ask me questions. Let's talk about video games. Let's play Palworld. Let's be happy. Let's be nice while we troll people once in a while.
Exactly. Colt, thanks again, man. We really appreciate it. And of course, the link to everybody's information is in the description below, as well as the channels and also their X/Twitter that they're on. So you can definitely, Colt has an X, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, no. Whoa, hey, it's a lot of money. But and man, Asante, dude, bat signal went up, and look, he comes in, and we appreciate it because we just like to have a good balance of 4 voices, and yours is one that we respect extremely highly in this community, and we greatly appreciate. Please tell everybody about the shows you got coming up and where they can reach out and find you.
Oh, well, first and foremost, I have to say thank you for inviting me, as usual. Always appreciate, either I'm in your chat or I'm on the panel. Appreciate being here. And the great Colteastwood, always awesome when I have the opportunity to chat with you as well. It's always great. Do not give up on those essays. Yours are the only ones that are left. So we still appreciate watching yours from time to time. So that's great. So I appreciate you being here and lending your voice to it as well. For me, let's see, Asante, TK Asante on Xbox, PlayStation, all the places that we find each other. And host of the Gaming Circle podcast, had a great show over the weekend. Had a developer on, an indie dev for the aforementioned cookie cutter game that I've been playing. He was nice enough to talk to us about it, got really in depth on the indie development process and all that. So that was super cool. I have another show that I do with John Wolf on Monday nights, very PC focused. It tends to be more handheld focused these days more than anything else. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We help the community, they help us. It's just basically hanging out and talking about tech and talking about PC gaming and things like that. So just a chance for John to pick my brain, and we do, we talk emulation, we talk all the interesting things that PC games bring. So come check us out there Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But once again, I appreciate having me on. It's always a great time being on here. Thank you guys so much.
Well, thank you, man. We love having you. And you, like I said, you have a great show on Saturday mornings, and then another fantastic show on Monday nights. And think people, sometimes it's some of those crossover between Colts and your show, but I always look at it this way: watch one live, watch the other as soon as it's done. That's what I always do. And sometimes I mix them up.
So I usually like ours is usually right before Cult ends. We're done. We're about an hour and a half, so right before Cult ends. And more often than not, we don't necessarily share the same audience because we're very much specifically on the Gamers Playground. We're very much in the hey, what are we building? What are you building? You know, troubleshooting, things like that. So we tend to get an audience that's very PC focused that wants to talk to us about PC. But it's always awesome. And when we're done, we jump on and watch Cult and Mag, you know, as everybody else would, as well. So, it's always awesome. Yeah,
it is awesome. And of course, my co-host, the man that makes this show happen, is RHETRI, and I just put his link for his Game Pass in the description. Of course, it's also in the description as well if you listen back on audio. So, RHETRI, tell everybody where they can find you. Tell everybody about your new show coming up, the name of it, and if you're getting closer to a date on that.
Yeah, we actually just had a meeting last night, so we're not going to be able to start that till March, but it's Aim Down Sights. That's me, Red Dead Panda, and my buddy Next Gen Nero. You probably guys have seen Nero on Twitter a lot. He plays a lot of games, so it's going to be a spicy show, but he's going to be moving in February, so I didn't want him to miss a bunch of shows, so we're going to actually just wait and launch it in March so everyone's like settled, you know what I'm saying? But you guys can follow me, you know, I'm on Twitter, GamePass_daily, if you want all your Game Pass news, and Game Pass Daily on YouTube. Or like Colt, I'm trying to get to Colt levels of editing. I make videos once a week on there as well. But yeah, it was great talking to you guys tonight. It was a lot of fun. You guys are super knowledgeable, so I love having guests like this on the show that make me kind of think outside the box. And chat, as always, was on fire. Thank you guys all for coming out tonight. We had something like 350 people or something. I lost count how many people were in here. So I appreciate you guys supporting us. You have made this podcast grow way faster than I promise you, way faster than me and Dave ever expected. So I appreciate you guys coming out each and every week. It means a lot more than you can ever know. So thank you guys. And thank you, Colt, and thank you, Asante, for killing it tonight. It was a pleasure, man.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Thanks again to everybody in chat. Thanks for our wonderful guests. And please stick around. We're going to be, we'll be back next week. Another great show here on Sundays. And I appreciate everybody that joined us here at the Gamers Council.